We have a baby. Say what? A naked one.
And I'm bald.
Filming this has proven to be much more difficult than it was to film a video without a baby. So bear with me because we're only a month into this thing, y'all. So cut me some slack. Hi, my name is Tina, but now I'm Khaleesi. You might know me as Two-Turn Tina, but now I have a baby. Welcome back to my channel. You might be thinking, where have you been? With child. So actually a lot has happened since I last saw you guys. You remember the whole reason we moved to Texas in our camper was because my sweet loving husband got a job. Plot twist.
I don't have that job anymore.
He got fired. Not because he's a bad person. Actually because he's a good person.
For real.
Quite literally because he's too nice. So that kind of puts us in a little bit of a bind. So this video is sponsored. I'm not even gonna lie. So we're gonna cut to the ad really fast just to get to that. This video is sponsored by Ritual. Yeah. As you've probably heard, I had a baby. And once you've had a baby, getting the right nutrients and getting enough of them becomes even more important. You always hear about self-care during pregnancy, but what a lot of people don't tell you is that the postpartum period is often more nutritionally demanding, especially for those who plan on breastfeeding like moi. That being said, switching from a prenatal to a postnatal just sounds, different, different circuses call for different monkeys, you know what I'm saying? It's actually very important. You're welcome. Introducing Ritual's Postnatal. 2 easy to take capsules that provide you with 15 essential nutrients after pregnancy, baby. Look at that, look how easy that was. As I've said before, a couple of reasons why I love Ritual is their transparency about using the ingredients they use. It's quite amazing. You can actually trace the decision-making process behind why they chose every ingredient they chose, from where they source their nutrients to why, and their environmental impact. And this specific postnatal contains vitamin C, zinc, iodine, biotin, and choline, which all those things support increased nutrients during lactation, baby. Because I'm lactating. Also containing omega-3 DHA to support fatty acid content in your breast milk for lactating women like us. Vegan friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, allergy-free, and no added sugar. So I know what you're thinking, but what if I'm not pregnant? Or what if I'm not post-nataling right now? Well, you're in luck. They also offer multivitamin for women, men, teen, 50 plus, and prenatal. And it's a delivered to your door subscription. It's literally, I think if you do the math, it's $1 a day to get your bottle. I'll pay $1 for some damn nutrients. Right now, Ritual is offering an elusive 20% off of your first month. That's a great deal. Now that we have a baby, we're living like a jitting and stuff like that, saving money, and 20% off, take it. Take it. Take it. That's 20% off of your first month if you click the link in my description and use code 2TURNED20. 2TURNED20. Okay? Again, 'tis the season. Start taking care of yourself, okay? And you can do that with Ritual's help. So thank you, Ritual, for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys, because without you guys, none of this would be possible. Okay, peace, love, blessings, deuces. Wow. Wasn't that amazing, chick?
All these vitamins help with your stress levels when you're moving unexpectedly and unemployed. Right, baby?
Right. She doesn't care. She's just happy to be here. I'm not going to go into full depth with this whole video. It's probably going to be a pretty quick video just because there's a lot to talk about. So this is just going to be a quick where, who, what, where, when, and why. Okay? First, who? Her name's Ada. It's pronounced Ada. You wouldn't believe how many people actually have a pretty hard time with that. She was born August 18th, 7:05 in the morning, baby.
She looks just like her daddy.
Yep, I have a blue-eyed baby with reddish hair. Backtrack, she's a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't expect that, to be truthfully honest. But we also didn't expect anything.
We didn't know.
True. Turns out pregnancy brain is not just a pregnancy thing. It's a rest of your life thing, because focusing on a child breathing and the conversation at hand is very difficult. So I've made a list. First thing on the list.
Born. She has been born.
She was born.
Okay, Ada was born.
She was.
How long was labor?
That's a really good question. Labor was 7 hours long. Well, technically,
there's 2 answers.
Okay, you want to hear my theory? People, the more hours people say, it's like a, what is it? Like a competition? Like, oh, you labored for this long? I labored for 9 months straight. But I really did start having like mild contractions at 7 a.m. the day before. So it was about 24 hours, but I really only count like active, painful contractions, which was 7 hours.
Question number 2.
I'm ready.
What was labor like?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Weird, for sure. Never done anything like it, I'll tell you what. First, let me take you through the timeline of it. I woke up, said I felt weird. Don't go to work. He didn't go to work. Then I actually had to edit the last video you saw. So I was sitting here editing that video, and every like 5 minutes or so, I'd be like, okay, let's go. That went on for about 12 hours, and we decided, you know, we should head to town because I think that this could be labor, better safe than sorry, you know what I'm saying?
So we went to Chipotle.
Our birthing center is an hour away. So we got in the car, headed out. We stopped at Chipotle on the way there. It was wonderful. Best chicken quesadilla I've ever had for sure. And then we made it to my aunt's house, which is across the street from the birthing center. There, I labored and things got a little bit more tense. They got like 3 minutes apart. I labored there for maybe like, what, 4 hours?
You're gonna do the math about the hours we're saying. It's not gonna add to 24.
It's
so
not,
don't, but
because
we're spitballing here.
Yeah, I labored there and things got harder. And every time I would look up, him and 3 cousins his age would have 4 phones full of memes to show me in order to make me feel better, and it was very sweet, but it wasn't helping. By this time my contractions were still 3 minutes apart, but they were way stronger. So then we texted my midwife and she was like, we should probably go to the birthing center because it sounds like you're tripping. It was 11 o'clock when we went to the birthing center. I started laboring pretty hard, and then my midwife, this was at what, 2 in the morning? At 2 in the morning, my midwife checked me because she said, you are laboring very hard. We should see how far along you are. And at first I said no, because
You don't like people down by your bits.
I don't like people all up in my bits. And because I knew that if I wasn't dilated, it was gonna hurt my feelings. And not my self-esteem, my confidence. So we agreed that, yeah, you can check me, just don't tell me. So as soon as she checked me, she was like, okay. I was like, okay, now you have to tell me. She said 2 centimeters. I was pretty pissed about that. So feeling pretty discouraged about the 2 centimeter thing, I just continued. And I didn't know until after I had her that my midwife said that she didn't think that I was gonna have that baby that day because things weren't progressing fast enough. She gave me this tree bark tincture. Its intention was to slow down labor, but I think instead it sped things up. 6 a.m., she measures me again. I was 9 centimeters. So then she was like, okay, let's start cooking with gas. I get in the bathtub at 6:45. I push for 20 minutes and there was a baby. Did it hurt? Yes, in the moment. But as soon as they were over, you were just ready to do it again because each little contraction just brought you closer to your little chunk. It was the best experience ever. I loved going into labor, and I do think that half of the battle was having a positive mindset about it. Oh, funny story. There was like 3 times where I said I quit. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm not made for this. And everyone in the room just kind of pretended they couldn't hear me, which in the moment was very frustrating. But in hindsight, it was like, wow, that was the best thing you could have done in that moment. Because if anyone would have tried to console me, I probably would. Isn't that funny?
Mommy tried to quit because you hurt so bad. I remember telling her one time, she said, I'm done, I can't do it. And I said, well, you have to now. Well, if I may.
You may.
Did you have any music playing while you were laboring?
I actually had a birth playlist. It was the best thing in the world, and I'll link it in my description. I don't gain anything from that. I just like the playlist so much that I thought you guys would.
It's a good playlist.
You guys would too. So.
I cried.
We both cried.
Immediately as soon as it started. I'm not a crying fellow. I don't shed tears for anything up until she was born.
That's not true. He cried at his buddy's wedding.
Okay, it doesn't count.
You cried.
That's love. I love love. My boy got married. What do you want from me? That's because I now knew as a married man what he was about, the joys his life were about to receive. And when I got married, I didn't know what I was in for. I didn't know how magical and wonderful it was going to be. But at his wedding, I knew what he was getting into. And I knew because I experience it every day in this dream that I get to call life.
Shut up.
What does that girl eat right there?
She eats breast milk. How is my breastfeeding journey going? It's been wonderful, actually. Some women have a harder time producing, or some babies have a harder time latching, but praise God, this girl can latch. I'll tell you what.
That girl eats.
And this girl can produce. As soon as I had her, they made me get out of the water because I was bleeding quite a bit. I laid on my little puppy pad, and they put her on top of me, and she just started crawl into the booba, and it was glorious.
And then she pooped on you.
Oh, and then she shat on my stomach.
And for those of you that don't have kids, when babies are born, their poo is black. So after labor, did you have any help? What did that look like after labor?
I had so much help. If you had asked me before labor, I even told him, I don't think I want guests. I don't think I want people. I think I just want to be alone. And then as soon as I had her, I was like, call everybody, round them up. We need to see everybody. I want to show her off to the world. And his mother actually came and stayed with us for an entire week. And I couldn't imagine it without her there. She was such a big help. Again, different strokes for different folks. I know a lot of people don't like visitors afterwards, but I loved it. I wanted to just share all the love I could. And it truly does take a village, especially in those first couple weeks, because I was fed, I was taken care of, he was taken care of, she was taken care of. It was amazing.
So did you like eat your placenta or anything? You happen to try eating the placenta?
That's funny you bring that up. I did. It was the worst experience of my life.
It was the worst experience of my life.
It's the worst experience of all of our lives.
All 3 of our lives.
I don't know if you guys know a lot about eating your placenta after birth. There's lots of benefits to it. It helps with hormonal regulation. It can help with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. So I just kind of assumed that I would have postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, which is where I made my first mistake.
I don't think it was a mistake. That you assumed you were going to need it. I think it's a fair trial to just start. If that's something you're into, to just do it.
Yeah.
And then if you feel great, then it's either working or it's neutral.
Yeah.
Or if you feel horrible, then you can stop. So it's not like...
It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
No.
And we knew that going into it. We knew that it works great for some women. It doesn't do much for some women, and it works horribly for some women. So I just thought, you know, my odds are pretty good. It's either going to do nothing or be okay.
Wrong.
We were wrong.
It was horrible.
So there's two different really popular ways you can eat your placenta, and some people do the encapsulation method, which is where they dehydrate your placenta and they put it into pills. I know a lot of people who have had a negative experience with the encapsulation, and the common denominator there was the dehydration process, because it can alter
The heat from the dehydrator takes some of the nutrition out of the meat.
So we decided to, they just sent us home with a placenta in a Ziploc baggie. And we cut it up into cubes and we put it in the freezer, to which we added to smoothies. So let me set the scene. This day, woke up, I was feeling great. I was like, you know what, we're feeling good. Let's nip this postpartum depression in the bud by making one of those magical placenta smoothies. We made it, and I drank it, and it was the worst day of my life. I immediately felt like the life had been sucked out of me. It literally instantly gave me the depression that I was trying to combat. I had horrible thoughts, horrible rage, very, very, very scary rage, and I was hearing things. Mama was cuckoo. So the next day we decided, you know, let's try that again. We tried it again, but
we did less.
Yes.
Like I did a small little baby piece.
We did a smaller dosage the next day, and I took note. I said, I feel great right now. I am feeling wonderful. Let's see if, you know, all hell breaks loose when I drink this smoothie. It did. Yeah, so then we just stopped, and, you know, things have been magical ever since.
And her placenta is still sitting in my aunt's freezer to this day.
Don't let my experience stop you from trying.
No.
But be aware that sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it just won't do anything. Sometimes it does horrible things. Just pay attention to your body, and also have more faith in yourself.
But don't let it scare you away. My cousin did it. Magical for her.
Yeah.
Our midwife did it. Magical for her.
Next baby, I'll do it again.
Try again.
But it's just a trial and error type of situation.
Take note. Oxytocin.
What is it, and why is it? This was just noted because it was one of the craziest things after birth that no one really talks about. So oxytocin is the love chemical that your body releases when you love
somebody or something or whatever.
When you love. So when you have your baby, you get afterbirth cramps, and those cramps help your uterus shrink back to the normal size, your pre-birth size. And what triggers those uterus cramps is oxytocin. So for the first like 2 weeks after birth, and some people have them for way longer, I would look at her and be like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. And then I would get the worst pain in it was like labor was happening again. And it was such a weird. It started to rain, and then the camera died.
Anyway, side note, where were we? Yeah, moral of the story, look at baby, ow. Look at husband, oh, ow.
It was crazy.
Next question. So we talked about Ada's pooping. Let's talk about mom's pooping. Did mom poop during labor?
I did. This is humiliating. I pooped during labor. And you want to know the worst part? There's two worst parts. When you give birth, if you're pushing correctly, it feels like you're pooping.
Do you know why?
Because you are.
No.
Why?
Because when the baby is coming down the birth canal, the weight of the baby pushes on your rectum.
Rectum? Hardly know him.
Damn near killed him. The baby pushes on your rectum as it squeezes through the birth canal, and it gives the sensation of pooping.
First worst part is that my bathtub that I gave birth in was mirrored. So you could see things. The second most humiliating part, I really didn't care that I pooped in the tub. I was glad that it was a solid poop. Just when I thought things were okay because I had a solid, cute little turd. My midwife comes over with a fishnet. Don't be scared of pooping during labor. Everyone does it. It's a natural
fine.
thing. Who
no
cares?
one even noticed.
Bada boom, bada bing, you have a baby. Poop was worth it.
Last question, bit of an open-ended one. Okay.
No, just say
We're doing. How okay we are doing? How are we? Are we okay? Last question. What is the thing you were surprised about the most?
That's a great question.
Weird.
This is so staged, I can't. You know, the thing that I'm most surprised about throughout this whole journey is how okay we are.
We're okay.
It's not,
Some of us
I know
are
it
more
looks
okay
like
than
I'm
others.
joking. I'm not joking. I was joking because I totally set up how that was.
This is a scripted show.
This part of this video was totally scripted. But that is the one thing I'm most surprised about is how okay we are and how good things are and how not miserable it is. Because all you hear is, just wait until you don't sleep a day. You're never going to see the back of your eyelids ever again, blah, blah, blah. You hate your life, you hate your kid, blah, blah, blah. It's actually beautiful. Days are great. She's a happy, healthy baby. We're happy, healthy parents. It is more fun than it is not, you know? Does that make sense?
It's also a lot easier now because ever since Daddy's been unemployed and stays home all day.
Oh, it's so much more fun to stay up until 4 a.m. with him.
Well, and now all of a sudden she has no idea or ability to make the baby go to sleep.
It's kind
lucky timing, good for us.
Girls, you know what I'm talking about. It's like when all of the feminine energy leaves your body. Like, I could open a jar when he's not here. I live perfectly fine when he's not here, but as soon as he walks in the room, I'm just like, and it's hard, I need help. And he really does get her to sleep way faster than I do.
That's because I'm willing to do the one thing that makes her go to sleep immediately. Stand up.
So that's all we got for y'all today. I promise I'll do a more in-depth video. I apologize if this video seemed pretty rushed. That's because it was, you know, I have deadlines to meet, and that deadline is
Last week.
now. If you guys want a more in-depth video, just comment about what. Comment some questions because I feel like I could talk about this for like 4 hours straight. I want to tell everybody about the miracle that is childbirth and how amazing it is. All parties involved. It was just the best experience I've ever experienced, and I just can't wait to have another. So thank you for watching. If you want to like and subscribe, go crazy. A lot of y'all were commenting on my last post that you thought my Instagram was deleted. I didn't delete it, I just changed my username. It's in my description as well. Peace, love, faith, and grace.
Wisdom.
I bid you adieu to freedom.
Strength, kindness,
Perseverance.
compassion,
Compadres.
wisdom.
Okay. Thanks guys for watching. Love you so much. Bye-bye.